Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the CoffeeCast ProCast Edition. And it has been quite some time since I've actually taken the time to sit down and cast a game. It feels really good again. I believe that this is a game in the middle of a series somewhere. It's one of my favorite Protoss players ever to have played the game. On the top left-hand side, we do have Grubby as our red Protoss player. His opponent here on Frost, spawning on the bottom right and around that 5 o'clock position, is going to be the European Terran Neeb. He's going to be spawning in the blues down here. Protoss vs. Terran, love the matchup. It's been a little bit favorable, I will say, of the Protoss side of things. Apparently last game, Grubby forgot Warp Gate or something, which really kind of sucks. You know, as a Protoss player, I'm just saying, Warp Gate is a little bit important. I have a nice little setup in my room now, which is why I actually decided to take the time and try to cast a game for once. I'm not down in the gaming room with my roommate, so I'm not going to bug them down there or anything. They can probably hear me through the vents, but you know what, that's their own problem. It's like 3 in the afternoon right now, I'll be honest. Does not really bother me. Grubby, I'm going to assume, is going to be going for some sort of very fast expansion on this. I wouldn't be surprised if well, I guess he is going to go for the Mothership Core first, since we are getting the Assimilator. I wouldn't really expect all that much aggression in the early game out of Grubby, though. The 1-gate expansion on this map going to be very, very easily viable. In fact, really the 1-gate expansion always, as a Protoss player with the Mothership Core, it is just so easy to do. Terran side of things, it looks like he's probably going to be opening up with Reapers. Does have that one gas doll on the field. You don't really see the fast factory plays anymore, so I doubt that it'll be anything. I don't know, the Reapers would be coming a little bit late. Probably going to be a Marine into a Reaper, maybe a Command Center, I don't know. That's what I'm expecting to see. We do have all 3 units going straight onto that gas geyser. No second gas, so probably, yep, just that one Reaper and then a Command Center. I've started off a lot of my casts lately saying this, unfortunately, but my meta is a little bit off. I have been watching some Tasteless and Artosis casting GSL in Korea. I have been watching a little bit of Penguin and, dear goodness, I cannot remember the other guy's name. I feel awful. Doing the WCS EU, and occasionally I'll watch something like Cats or something. But for the most part, I really haven't had time to dedicate a lot of investment into StarCraft. So I apologize if I say something and it just sounds completely funny. It's actually going to be a reactor, and despite being behind on the meta, I feel like that just isn't super usual. Something that's super standard out of Neeb here. It looks like he is going to be going for the 1-Rax expansion here. Getting that gas, probably going to... I'm going to predict a factory pretty quickly here after this expansion. Probably just getting the reactor on the barracks to be able to pump out some extra Marines for defense. It's something you always have to be wary of as a Terran player is, oh god, that probe. Bad day to be that probe. Something you have to be wary of as that Terran player is, of course, you have to look out for the Mothership and the Stalker pushes, or pretty much anything with the Mothership. And getting a few extra Marines out with that reactor. And Neeb just playing a little bit more safely this game. He is dropping down that factory though with that next 100 gas. A little bit low on resources in the mineral account there. He's going to be building those back up, and then we'll see where exactly he wants to go from there. On Grubby's side of things, his Nexus is going to be finishing up a little bit before that Command Center does. Going to be dropping down the robotics facility. Something we've been seeing actually a lot in Protoss vs. Terran on the Protoss side of things is skipping the robotics and actually going for the Twilight first. And of course you have the very popular Blink All-Ins, but we've also been seeing a lot of Charge Lot Immortal Archon with Storm, and though you'll see Protoss players go for Storm before getting that before getting the robotics and the Immortals out on the field. So I'm curious to see if Grubby's going to be going for those faster Immortals, or if he's going to be going for Colossus this game. That Mothership Core, oh man, gonna have to use the 100 energy to recall there. That was just kind of a nasty position for Grubby to get caught in there. I mean, losing that energy, probably not going to be a big deal. We can see right now Neeb isn't really looking to push out with just the 8 Marines or so on the map. This one Stalker, though, might get caught off guard. Grubby going to need to be very careful with that. You can see both players, they kind of know what's up with this, though. Grubby not really going to press it. 8 Marines or so, just going to be a little bit too much for that one Stalker. He's going to try to poke and prod up this ramp, see if he can get any damage done on these Marines, but really, Neeb is just in too good of a position. Not much is going to get picked off there. We are at about 7 minutes of the game. We can see Grubby quite a bit ahead on that Harvester tab. Currently sitting at 38 to just 27. Both players still double producing their Harvesters. We have the single forwards coming on the field. That Observer, he's going to take forever to get out across the map. And actually, that's going to be the second Observer. One thing I think that Protosses don't really utilize, apparently my Control Shift F does not want to work on this Observer. It doesn't want to follow it. And, oh man, that Stalker's going to get caught off guard. He's going to lose that, which is a little bit unfortunate. That's not the worst thing in the world, but that is a lot of Hellions coming out across the map right now. And Grubby going to need to be a little bit careful. Does not want to lose a bunch of probes to these Hellions, especially considering that he is in that probe lead right now, sitting at, once again, 43 to just 33. Oh, wow. Grubby really didn't have a lot on the field right now. And this is a pretty big push out for Neeb. There's the Mothership Core. Does he have enough energy for the Photon Overcharge? Not quite yet, but a couple of nice Force Fields is going to hold the army back for the moment. But there really is not any more energy for any more Force Fields. Medevac just going to be sitting overhead. Stalkers doing their work. Stalkers are just so potent in the early game versus Marines. And, I mean, obviously Hellions, which are going to be getting dropped into the main base right now. They're going to be going over towards that mineral line, getting one probe instantly. Probably going to get a couple of more probes. Two more do go down there. Stalkers are in hot pursuit. They are going to get sandwiched in there. Hellions are gone. But with, as I was saying, without the support of the Marauders, the Stalkers are such a strong early game unit versus Terran. It's very difficult to be able to do little pushes like that. I think Neeb really did make the best of it. He lost a few Marines. What's the tab? There it is. He lost 4 Marines, 6 Hellions, but at the cost of being able to do, goodness gracious, I cannot, no. There we go. He was able to take out 6 workers. My fingers just don't want to get in quite the right position here. The Harvesters are going to be evened out a little bit more. Now we're sitting at 47 to 43, so a little bit better position for Neeb here. Kind of an expected point in Terran versus Protoss with the Mules. Grubby is going to be counterattacking out across the map. I can't really see this doing all that much damage. Viking is going to be landing down here even to help out this army, and that's going to push back these Stalkers and the Sentries. Sentries not really all that much energy, going to be popping a Guardian Shield. There is a Marauder in here, which you would be surprised at how much extra DPS this Marauder adds in here. Grubby going to be continuing pushing down with Stalkers. Apparently he did not forget his Warp Gate this time around. These bunkers, they're close to completing. The top one probably is not going to complete. No, that's going to get taken out. Bottom one is going to complete. And without Blink finished, that's pretty much going to completely shut down this attack. And Neeb going to pull back to the mineral line. Grubby did lose a few Stalkers there, but the mining time lost. Oh, is that going to be a free medevac? It is. That is nice. Oh, we're losing the Sentry for that, though. Not so free in that case. Those are units that you really don't want to spend gas on later on in the game trying to rebuild. Totally forgot what I was just saying there, to be quite honest. Grubby in maybe a little bit less of an advantageous position where he was before. That's right, I was going to say that Neeb lost actually quite a bit of mining time because he had almost all of these SCVs pulled off of the line at one point. 60 to 51 Harvesters. Ooh, okay, there's a third base down here. I think that's a little bit risky. There are quite a few units on the map right now. Blink is about to finish. That Marauder goes down instantly, though. There is no sight onto the high ground for Grubby, though, so he will not be able to push up there. Blink not done yet. So we might lose one more Stalker, but Concussive Shells not done either yet. Oh gosh, this is going to be close. Grubby needs to blink away, and that he does. But Grubby did lose a few units there that I really feel like he didn't need to. This medevac is going to run out of energy healing up this army, though. So neither player I really feel is in a position where they can be all that aggressive at this point. Neeb does have a nice third base going. Grubby, nice third base himself. It doesn't quite... I saw that flip from 2 to 3 back to 2. There we go. Just making the pylon with the probe that was in that gas. So he is going to have the full 3 base gas saturation that's going to allow him to go into that Blink Stalker Storm composition. How's that for a little bit of a gas heavy composition out of our Protoss player on the top left hand side? That was an interesting blink. I don't know exactly what that was for. Marine is going to be patrolling the map down around the south side, just kind of looking for expansions, maybe see if he can find a pylon or two to snipe off. He's not going to really see all that much. Grubby just going to be expanding to the north. Pretty typical stuff here. Factory is going to be floating down here. I'm assuming it's going to be floating. Oh, wow, I really like this position here. It's going to be floating and landing in this little back area to hold that off, kind of like on an old Zelnaga Caverns. Oh god, Grubby needs to be so careful with these stalkers because stemmed bio can actually catch up to those blink stalkers after they blink, especially if something gets hit with concussive shells. But there is a massive army up here. Neeb, he scans it. He needs to know that he cannot engage that with this meager little force that he has down here, especially with no ghosts in this composition. There's absolutely no way that he can break through this. He is going to be trying to come around to scout out this third base. He might be able to get a little bit of damage done here, going to be able to immediately break through the pylon, and he's going to be going up to the high ground, see if he can might get a better position against these probes, get a little bit of economic damage done before flying off across that bridge. That's exactly what he's going to be doing. A nice little pickup there for Neeb. Needs to be careful, though. Needs to be careful how he engages. This is not a good engagement point with the psionic storms on the map. Looks like he might be coming down for a little bit of a wraparound. He's just trying to hold his army in place. One great psionic storm goes down. Another nice one goes down as well. And a lot of those bioforces do get taken down. But here comes a little bit of a counter-aggression here from Neeb going into that natural expansion. What exactly are they going to be going for? Grubby is going to be giving chase out across the map. That army going to be completely killed off, losing medevacs as well. But there goes the cannons. Where is the photon overcharge on the mothership core? The mothership core actually really nowhere to be seen right now. This army in a nice little position, going to take out as much as it possibly can, but the natural expansion does fall for Grubby. That means his income is going to fall quite a bit, and a 3-base Terran versus a 2-base Protoss is a very scary proposition indeed. Now just going to pick back up and fly off. The supply fairly even at this point, but I think Neeb just took a fairly advantageous position with that pickup of the natural expansion. Grubby going to be going for the counterattack, though. Neeb trying to establish a 4th base, but this, my friends, is not the time to do that, I feel. There is a small force back here. Some nice feedbacks down on that medevac. Going to morph those into Archons now. I don't know if Grubby has any more energy to storm with, though. Those Templar would be a little bit further back in the army. The Archons soaking up quite a bit of damage. But here come the Zealots. Some nice force fields on that ramp going to stop some of that army from retreating. Grubby just going to push straight on up into the natural expansion. The Ghost Academy is here. It is researching Cloak. Remember that the Mobus reactor is automatically researched with the new patch, which I believe this is of the new patch. Some nice force fields go down, trapping a lot of those SCVs in there, picking those up with the medevac, though. Nice little save. The Argon's going to be storing forward, taking out a lot of those force fields. In the meantime, the 3rd base of Grubby under fire from that small bioforce that recently took out the natural expansion. Grubby pushing into the natural of Neeb, though. No energy for storms. The Zealots still give a lot of damage. There's a lot of Immortal and Archon power here, though. One Archon, actually, I guess the last Archon did just die. Now Neeb is picking up and going back into the main base of Grubby. He's straight into production line now, and that's going to hurt for Grubby. It is currently 89 to 91 supply. It is 34 to 49 in the armor supply. Neeb definitely an advantage there, and I think Neeb has A, the better positioning, and B, the better army right now. It looks like it's just going to be, pardon me, be picking up. I knew I had to stumble over my words somewhere in there. Picking up, landing back here. One storm does go off, but it misses the bio army completely. But there is enough down there. There's a good storm. But these medevacs are going to be able to escape with their forces inside. Grubby taking pretty nasty damage there, I feel. Currently sitting at 38 workers killed by Neeb. Where's that put us economically, though? Grubby still managing to maintain a harvester lead at 50 to 43, but Neeb is doing that triple production. Grubby just sitting at double production. And I think we kind of evened out here, to be honest. I thought that Neeb was in a much better position, but Grubby able to warp in enough back home. I think he only lost a gateway, maybe a pylon or 2 back in there. He did lose a few probes over in the natural, though. You can see that there's small little contingencies of units all over the place, ready to storm medevacs, or pardon me, feedback medevacs, or storm bio that doesn't manage to get down. We're currently sitting at 2-2 for the Terran player to the 1-2 of Grubby, 1 attack upgrade, 2 armor upgrade. 3-3 is on the way for Neeb, and as we know, those upgrades at 3-3 bio army, it's just absolutely terrifying. Grubby, I feel, is kind of on a little bit of a timer right now. You don't want to let your Terran opponent get that far ahead in the upgrades. That's just a very, very bad situation to be in. Army supply sitting at almost 90, and actually losing quite a bit as he loses these medevacs, losing about 10 supply there, if not a little bit more, due to the remacro there, and that's going to even things out a little bit for Grubby, but still things are looking a little bit peaked right now. 5 ghosts coming onto the field. The EMP is going to be so critical here. We can see this one Zealot, he's slowly hacking away at this factory. He wants to be able to get through, open up an extra attack path, and Neeb not going to allow that to happen. Grubby, though, knows that, well, there's a medevac up here now. And he'll be keeping an eye on that, I'm certain, as he moves across the middle of the map here, getting ready to do another little assault. This is a fairly meager force, though. Right before the engagement here, we're sitting at 97 to just 62 supply. Remember, this is not the full army here for Neeb, and this is Grubby's full army. One great storm goes down there, a second storm to zone the units out, but Snipes absolutely obliterating the Templar. One last storm does go down, and now there's a little bit of a sandwich there. Neeb getting a better angle into that engagement. I don't know if Grubby really has what it takes to come back in this. His +3 armor just now starting, but 3-3 is going to be done for Neeb very shortly here in about another 40 seconds, and at that point, I don't think Grubby is going to be able to hold on to his fourth base. His main base is getting mined out. He's just now getting extended thermal lands. This is far too late into the game for a Colossus transition when he's this far behind already. Normally, this would be something you'd want to do, I don't know, maybe about 5 minutes ago when the Ghosts first started getting created and put out onto the field. At this point, though, Grubby is in a lot of trouble. Ghosts are going to be trying, the High Templar are going to be trying to lead the army here. The Ghosts, though, oh god, there's something that you just have to keep an eye out for. Apparently, we don't have enough energy for EMP, but Snipes, those are very practical right now. Going to be pushing on into the fourth base. There's a small counterattack, but oh man, that's a planetary. Never mind. That's not a counterattack. That's just the slaughter of some harassment units by Grubby. This one Colossus is on the field. He's going to need to be a hero Colossus, but I just don't know if he has what it takes. One great storm goes down there, but the Ghost getting right on top of the army. But awesome storms before they can all get EMP'd and taken out. Grubby doing as much as he can in this engagement, but there is just too much bio right now. Tenzel is being warped in. One more Archon. But this, I believe, is Grubby's last leg. I don't think he can pull this one out. Another good storm going down. Another good storm going down. I don't even have the right adjectives to describe how much decimation that we've had from these High Templar in this game. But in the end, it's just not going to be enough. There is so much bio left on the field. There's a 92 army supply to 4. I wish that I could just have a tab that showed us how many units were killed off by the High Templar. 11 Templar did lose their lives in this game. 117 Marines. Dear goodness. Thank you for joining me once again for the Coffee Cast Procast Edition. I am hoping to be able to find a little bit more time to continue casting going on into the months coming up here. School's kind of getting back into full swing for this semester, so we'll see how that does end up going. Thank you once again for tuning in, and until next time, folks, this is Coffee Break, signing out.